In today's video, we'll learn what makes Marc Silvestri's illustrations distinctly recognizable, how to practice his style, and how to apply his techniques to our own subjects in pen and ink. Marc Silvestri is known as a great storyteller with an identifiable style. He's a comic book artist, primarily a penciler. This means the final artwork we see is often created in collaboration with a team. Different inkers may give Silvestri's drawings a different finish, but his marks are always recognizable. He draws with energy, using an organic, impressionistic approach to his illustrations. An impressionistic approach means that Silvestri's lines are spontaneous. It's scribbly, yet confident, and never sloppy. It's like he ignites an invisible path on the page. Copying a Silvestri drawing is nearly impossible. One can only try to mimic the stroke direction he uses and work towards his level of freedom. He finds the lines the rest of us are still searching for. I watched footage of Silvestri drawing and inking his own work. For pencils, he starts loose and fast, sketching numerous finding lines to construct a drawing going big to small on the page. Silvestri's viewpoint is that, in comics, accuracy is not as important as aesthetics. For example, the drapery of Batman's cape here. It's not necessarily realistic, but it's a very persuasive cape. It gives the illusion of being made of a menacing material. I think Silvestri's point is that if the artistry of the strokes tells a convincing story, then the exactness of what's illustrated comes secondary. And he can get away with that because his illustrations are so effective. Observe the pleasing angles of the character's anatomy, with how that cape emerges from his collarbone. Look at the energy lines. The strokes seem to radiate from Batman's core. Silvestri's line work is like an electric network of grit emitting from the solar plexus. And that right there is actually the secret of his compositions. His pinup compositions typically have a triangle or an S-shape structure to them. Silvestri achieves a well-balanced structure using squiggly shapes as background elements and with the solar plexus strokes I mentioned earlier. Note how the hatching marks are angled from the main character's core. Earlier, I said that the final artwork we see is often created in collaboration with a team. I did a study of a piece inked by Joe Weems and another inked by Matt Banning, known as the Bat. Silvestri uses Copic fineliners and brush pens to ink his work, and even though Weems and Bat use different tools and techniques, you'll recognize the key Silvestri-isms, which are the organic, spontaneous feel of the drawing, the vibrant energy of the line work, which seem to emit from the solar plexus of the main character, and an S or V composition. Silvestri's approach is to find the lines by following the energy of a piece. An exercise that helps develop this skill is called Draw in One Take. Using one of Silvestri's sketches as reference, your pencil does not leave the page. Start with a very loose, light doodle from big to small shapes, then refine it. Bold the lines that you want to keep and erase the remainder. Let's try the exercise using a photo reference. You can see how quickly I found the forms, just following the outlines of the subject with my eyes and keeping my pencil on the page. I normally don't draw this way. I prefer the Loomis or Bridgman methods to construct my subjects, but this turned out surprisingly well and is worthwhile to practice. To apply the Silvestri style to my own subjects, I've redrawn the same bird, again using the Draw in One Take method. I went with the S structure that Silvestri frequently uses to organize his compositions, along with a monster theme from his Darkness comic. With a supernatural vibe to the illustrations, it's not out of context to use those squiggly shapes that Silvestri likes as a background element. Silvestri's use of squiggly shapes combined with energetic lines brings visual balance, so I did the same as he did in my composition. I also remembered to angle the stroke direction as though they were emerging from the main character's solar plexus. The end result is playful, and you can lose track of time noodling about in an illustration style like this. A note of caution on that, with a doodly style of inking, it's easy to over-render a piece. If I were to do this study again, I would start with a thumbnail to pre-arrange the values. An effective arrangement of values uses the gradation of tones to lead the viewer through the composition and directly to the focal point. To learn more about effective values arrangements for your compositions, watch this video here. Thank you to those who requested Marc Silvestri. I'm happy to read your suggestions of masters to feature on this channel. I hope that you had as much fun watching this video as I had practicing his illustration style. If you did, give it a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.